The most common valve options customers specify with the Bradley Lavatory Systems is the battery infrared, or BIR3, and the push-button air metering valve, or AST4. These valves are widely used in the Express SS, MG, and CRS lavatory systems, as well as various Bradley multi-founts. This video will demonstrate how to troubleshoot both types of valves to ensure a plumbing fixture is functioning properly. For the demonstration, we'll be using a two-station Express SS unit. The components for the BIR3 and AST4 valves are the same across all Bradley fixtures. To troubleshoot the battery infrared valve, I will use a process of elimination to diagnose the issue when one hand washing station is working and the other is not. Troubleshooting the battery infrared valve requires two basic steps. Step 1 is to remove the circuit board and test the solenoid and the battery. Step 2 is to test the sensor eyes and circuit board. I'm at an SS2 station with battery infrared. This is the valve assembly. We've got solenoid, circuit board, sensor eyes, and the battery power pack. Those are your components. We've got one station that's not working. It's this one. Step 1 would be to remove the circuit board and test the solenoid with a good battery. So I'm going to do that. Just touch the battery to the terminals and turns on the station, and it did in this case. So we know that the battery and the solenoid are good. So to turn off the open valve, we just flip the battery over, touch it to the terminals again. Now that we know that the solenoid and the battery are good, we need to test the circuit board and the set of eyes. Using the set of eyes from the known good station, we'd remove this set of eyes, then the other set, and we would plug it into this unit to see if the light flashes, and if so, that should have water flowing, and we do. That tells us that the set of eyes was bad for this particular station. The circuit board is good. To troubleshoot the push button air metering valve, I'll go through the steps when no activation occurs when the push button is pushed and when the valve runs on and won't turn off. We've got a SS2N Express lavatory with AST4 activation. This is our push button assembly, actuator body, push button itself, vacuum line, and the supply tube. Okay, we have a complaint that there's no activation when we push the button. The first thing we'll do is remove the vacuum tube from the back of the air actuator, and we suck on the tube to see if water will flow. The water flows, which tells us that everything from this tube down to the valving is good and airtight, and there's no leaks there. So we would replace this actuator assembly with the push button kit S65-168. That is the actuator body and the insides. Okay, we've replaced our actuator body kit. We've reinstalled the tube fully. It has to go in all the way to avoid another air leak, and we're going to see if this fixed our problem. And it did. We have water that flows, problem solved. Okay, we've replaced the push button actuator kit. We've made sure that our vacuum lines are good and strong. Everything's tight. We've made sure our screws are tight, and we still don't have water flow. So we need to remove this clamp ring at the bottom of the valve. Take the little plastic cover up, and we push up on this diaphragm and magnet assembly. It'll make a click. If you get no water to flow, we need a repair kit, S65-261. Okay, we've replaced our push button assembly, we've checked our lines, and we've tightened our screws, and our valve works good down below. Now the other one is not shutting off, so we need to remove the diaphragm to check it for debris, and the valve seat on this valve body to make sure it has no debris. So we remove these 3 screws to separate the 2 halves. And there's our diaphragm. The diaphragm does not appear to have any debris on it. The valve seat looks good and clean. So we may have just a bad diaphragm that may need to be replaced. And there's a repair kit, S65-262, that has the diaphragm, the armature, and the spring in it. Okay, we've replaced our diaphragm kit. We still have a run-on issue. So now we need to remove the timer to blow out any debris that could be in there. We first take this white wing nut off. That exposes our timer. With a small screwdriver, you would back this out. I've already done that to facilitate this. So we remove the timer screw, take it out and either blow out or wash out the debris that's in there. Reinstall the timer. When you reinstall it, you just snug it up. When it goes in, just snug, and then you back it off to where you want it set. Reinstall your wing nut and check your operation. As a final reminder, both the BIR3 and AST4 options are sensitive to water pressure. The operating ranges are 20 to 80 psi.